Hi everyone, it's Eli. You know how sometimes you stumble upon something truly game-changing in healthcare? Well, I found it. KinetiSense. This cutting-edge motion capture technology is transforming movement, assessment, and recovery. Imagine getting instant AI-driven insights without any wearables on your patient. That's right, no ping pong balls needed. Just pure, accurate data. Perfect for boosting athletic performance, pinpointing imbalances, and refining rehab. Top professionals worldwide trust KinetiSense to maximize productivity and results. Check out our partner page to learn more. Experience the revolution in movement. Welcome to Wrap It Up Sports Medicine and More, the podcast that gives you a viewpoint in sports medicine that can't be found anywhere else. I'm your host, Eli Halleck, and we have a fantastic show ahead of us today. So, let's get started. Welcome to Wrap It Up Sports Medicine and More. I'm your host, Eli Halleck, and today we have a fun guest. Wait, no, we have two. This is going to be a fun episode. We're talking about something a little bit different in the athletic training world, the tactical side, which some of us have been exposed to, many of us haven't. We'd like to welcome today from Pro Team Tactical Performance, Dr. Beth Dahlman, athletic trainer. How are you doing, Beth?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here today. And her colleague, Dr. Kimberly White, athletic trainer. How are you doing today, Dr. Kimberly?
Well.
Thanks for being with us.
Excited.
Yeah, I am too. We've done a few of these episodes on tactical athletic trainers, and it's always so educational because I'm a little older. Never even knew about this side of athletic training until the last 10, 15 years. And the more we talk about it, just wow. The information, what we're able to do. We're going to talk about some new professional development that was created by you guys, which would be very intriguing. That's my understanding. And if I'm wrong, wouldn't be the first time. I'm married. I'm wrong every day. So we'll talk about it. But first off, Dr. Beth, is it okay if I just call you Beth?
Yes, you can just call me Beth.
Awesome. Would you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got to where you're at now?
Happy to. Yeah. And I think this might be like the first lesson for your listeners coming in at the very first 5 minutes of the segment. So I went a very non-traditional route, I think one would say. I mean, I did traditional in a sense of undergraduate education at that time. Becoming an athletic trainer only required an undergraduate degree. So that ages me a little. But I always knew I wanted to keep going to school to get my master's. And I did the traditional GA route. And I love that. And I worked in traditional setting in college athletics with men's basketball, men's and women's gymnastics, covered a lot of PRN because I was hungry to learn. But my master's focused on like pedagogy and teaching in higher education. And I kind of always wanted to aspire to be on the teaching side of athletic training. And so in order to do that, I knew I needed a terminal degree. So I went right into continuing my education at Bowling Green State University in a doctoral teaching assistant role and finished my EDD, which is a doctorate in educational leadership from Bowling Green. And it was great, but it was one of those things where the position didn't even exist, but I wanted it. And so it was like the first time where someone's like, well, just ask. So I reached out to a couple of people in different programs and I said, hey, this is what I want to do. And it paved the way for the rest of my future, essentially. So if those of you that are listening, like, just don't be afraid to ask for things in your educational experience because you won't know until you ask. So I pretty much was able to create my own position, have most of it paid for in a graduate assistant role, and did my dissertation that way. From there, I did secure a traditional like tenure role at a university and started teaching. And those were my first 3 professional years. And such is life, when you make plans, what do they say? Make a plan and God will laugh. And so my plans changed.
Every day
I
he
know. So
laughs.
yeah, my plans changed and all of that mostly taking place in Ohio, some in Massachusetts, brought me back to the clinical role. I knew if my life was going to change and I was going to be back in the clinic versus in the classroom, I was specifically looking at military roles because they were becoming more and more available. And I am a big first responder family. I have almost every branch of the military in my family, and my dad was a police officer. So it means a lot to me to serve those that serve us. And again, it was one of those times where I updated my LinkedIn profile. And at that time, Protein was 1 year old. And because I updated my LinkedIn profile, the director of operations reached out to me and said, "Hey, you have a very unique background. Want to come work for us?" I
Awesome.
know it wasn't like traditional at all. I've just been really lucky that way. And so I started with Pro Team. I was employee number 3, and I opened our Westfield location in just north of Indianapolis during COVID, which was wild. And but obviously working with essential workers and frontline workers, like we were busy from the very beginning and have never stopped growing since then. So
Just a
it's
little busy during that time, I'm
a
sure.
little. Lots of
Just a tiny.
EMS workers, because yeah, we see fire, police, EMS, corrections, but obviously a lot of that parallels with paramilitary. So that's kind of my educational and career trajectory. And the lesson learned in those 10 years was don't take no for an answer.
And something you alluded to, you are your best advocate at all
Yes,
times.
all the
Yep,
time.
totally, totally. Wow, that's so cool. And
Loaded.
how neat to be giving back to the community that really is your family.
Mhm.
Literally, that is nearly every branch you said of service. That's just awesome.
Yeah, Marines, Navy, Army. If I'm missing any, not Coast Guard. Yeah, so and police.
Oh, Space Force.
Oh, and Space Force, right. But that just got,
Yeah,
so
that's new.
maybe a niece or nephew. I don't know.
There you go. Might happen. Might happen. Very true.
Uh-huh.
Very true. Give it time. And awesome. I mean, so cool to hear how you were your own advocate and created your own position literally by asking.
Yeah.
So, and to anybody listening, that's so important. We are our best advocates no matter where we're at. Now, Dr. Kimberly, how
Yes.
about you? Give us a little background on how you got to where you are at today.
My story is probably the exact opposite, which I love. Um, so I did a very similar educational route in that got my certification and licensure from a bachelor's degree. So I went to University of La Verne's, a small private school in Southern California.
Only about 20 minutes from where I'm working, correct? Yes, no,
Yeah.
very well.
And then I had actually never planned to obtain a higher education. It was something for me that was not affordable or obtainable. And I was a first generation college graduate. So it wasn't something that, anybody else in my family had done. It was a big enough deal for me to just have my bachelor's degree. And it was through mentors there, and they encouraged me, like, hey, you're really good at this. And we think you should pursue your master's degree, and there's an avenue that can help cover those costs if you apply to be a GA. So I did that, and I was a graduate assistant at New Mexico Highlands University. That's where I got my master's in human performance in sports. I worked with football, wrestling, softball, and track and field while I was there. Graduated from there, and then I took a year-long internship at Savannah State University for football. My
Did you
career,
say Savannah State? I
I
missed that.
did.
Okay, okay, very
Yeah.
cool.
My career path in my own head at that time was to be a high-level football athletic trainer, Division
Oh,
One,
of course, yeah.
SEC,
Like so
like
many of us, yeah.
75% of athletic trainers, right?
That's where I was going. Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
And then I found out about Indiana State's doctorate program and that they also offered graduate assistant positions, which made it, again, attainable for me to get a doctorate degree. So I was blessed enough to get into that program and get a graduate assistant position. So I moved to Terre Haute, Indiana. It's an interesting place to be.
Where?
Terre Haute.
How do you spell that? I got to see where this is.
Terre space Haute.
Way west Indiana.
Girl, I'm geographically.
Yeah, here we go. Ooh, they got a casino.
Yeah,
There we go. I'm in. Did I say
Yep.
that out loud? Wait a minute. That might get me in trouble at work.
That's about all they have, as well as in one thing. That's about it.
Yep.
All right. Okay, there it is. Terre Haute.
So my
Nice.
first year there, I was the graduate assistant for the women's basketball team. And I had a very typical GA experience where you work way too many hours and you're completely overwhelmed and burnt out and exhausted. And my program director and clin coordinator at the time, I think, were watching me struggle in a traditional setting, but also were very much aware of the fact that my goal was football. And at the end of my first year, they sent me an email and told me that I was going to be reassigned for the next year as a graduate assistant, and that I was going to be working in West Lafayette, Indiana with police and fire. And so they had given me a really great opportunity, but that was not my perspective at that time.
Oh God, no. No. That's not what you wanted. That's not where you
Oh,
wanted
no.
to go. That wasn't the direction. No.
No.
Who are they? They don't know you. This is what
Exactly.
not what you want. Yeah.
It was a meltdown in a hallway, unfortunately. But
Any witnesses?
Huh?
Any witnesses?
No.
Okay, good. We're fine.
No,
Cool.
just the person I was talking to.
Okay.
But Dr. Kent Games, I think at that point saw something in me that I probably didn't see in myself. And he had led a lot of the tactile athlete research through Indiana State. And it was him that was opening up this tactile athlete care clinic with West Lafayette Police and Fire. And he saw something in me that, again, I still don't know what it was, but he wanted me to be a part of that. And that's what kind of returned my trajectory to the tactile athlete space. So my second year in my doctorate program, I was able to help start the tactile athlete care clinic out of West Lafayette, Indiana. And they're partnered with Franciscan Health, which is like a huge hospital out here. And I also grew up in an environment where police were not our best friends. And I was hesitant, if I'm being honest. I'll never forget, I had a really honest conversation with a police officer who was willing to be vulnerable with me that I was treating. And that was the first time I saw myself looking at first responders as heroes. They weren't that in my head before then. And I have this conversation openly now, but they 100% are to me now. It really changed my perspective on first responders in general. And on top of that, how terrible their healthcare had been up to that point. And so my graduation was May of 2020, which also like, hey, COVID, how are you?
At a staff meeting.
Yep, that was fun.
So
Yep.
my graduation was canceled. I never got to walk across the stage for my doctorate, but they did an amazing job of doing a virtual graduation. I got hired here the same way. Actually, Tim reached out to me through LinkedIn, and I was employee number 5 and got the opportunity to start the Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department location 5 years ago. And I've been here ever since.
I was going to say, I think the reason why we kind of give ourselves an employee number, that will sound really weird to listeners, but
I like it.
We do, because like we only started in 2018 with like a shoebox of a clinic, like a lot of athletic trainers are used to, until we could kind of proof of concept to give back to the city of Indianapolis. And we just, I mean, I'll be really honest, like the company killed it from a numbers standpoint, and just showing the value of an athletic trainer in this setting versus sending these, first responders to a emergency department or a care clinic that doesn't really focus on musculoskeletal health. So our company is just doing it really well and doing it right. And so like knowing that I'm number 3, but we're on like number 30 now is just really cool to see that growth in 6 years, 7 years.
Wear that like a badge of honor, to be
Yeah.
honest. I mean, you look at it and go, the foresight they had to hire you in the beginning, and you helped build it. I number 3, God, yeah, I was there. Number 5, I was there. I've been here the whole time. This is kind of cool because you helped show value, and you said it. You're helping show value in our profession and what we do to another area of patients. And you're giving back to people that give to the community every day. which
Mhm.
is like Kimberly said, not everybody understands at certain points in our lives, but oh God, we need them.
Mhm.
They're so needed in so many different ways. So thank you for
So
doing what you do.
rewarding. Mhm.
We've got protein tactical performance. Now, everybody, just to be safe, we keep going back and forth and just saying protein. That's what we call it, correct? Just kind of the abbreviation. In the
Yep.
background, I see Indiana State Police, which I love. So I presume you guys work with them quite a bit.
Yes.
What is, if you don't mind, Dr. Kimberly, we'll start with you. What kind of do you love about the day-to-day operations of what you do?
Great question. So I think there's a like athletic trainer response, and then there's also just like a human response. I think my athletic trainer response is I love having a fixed schedule. I love being able to come in at 8 and leave at 5.
Wait. What?
Right.
What is that? A
Right.
fixed? I don't understand.
Exactly.
Well, you'll have to explain that to me later. Okay, we'll
Sure.
do that off air. Yeah,
Offline.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I love that I am valued by the owners of the company and leadership. I love that I'm able to have work-life balance. I love that I'm able to see patients one-on-one and provide individualized care to each person that comes in the door. And from a personal perspective, I think for me, the most rewarding part of my job is getting to know these people and these officers and seeing them truly fight to get back to protecting us. Because that is a wild concept if you've never been around it, right? Like these individuals are willing to fight through pain and injury and roadblocks and mental, anxiety, depression, all these other things just to go keep people safe. It's a very thankless profession. To be a part of that in any way and to help them in any way is extremely rewarding.
I would have to agree with you on the thankless part. I've got some good friends in the professions right now. Some of them, which I've taught as high school students and kind of ended up in service. And right now, with everything going on, it's harder on them than ever before. And my heart aches for them because they're caught in the middle of stuff that nobody should be caught in the middle of. So I totally get that. I'm sure Dr. Beth is hoping for the same question because she had time to think about it. But
Right.
yeah. You know what? I'd like to hear your perspective as well. Usually I'd change the question, but I'd really love to hear your answer.
What I love, like why the day to day, what I love.
Yeah.
Hmm. I work with, I work in a utopic environment with
Ooh.
an amazing team of people who were like one big dysfunctional family, but we work so hard together. It's like, so Kim already kind of took some of the, day to day. I'm a mom of 2 kids I have a 7 and 4-year-old. So the fact that I can be home for dinner every night, no weekends, no evenings, and holidays, and I get X number of PTO, it's kind of utopic in that way, but it's like I'll never say like I have it all. I haven't, but I'm so freaking close. So I'll use the not I'll use the like kid friendly version. I almost let something else come out.
It's all good. We've got a bleep button. You're fine. Don't
Okay,
worry
cool.
about it. You're good.
One might come out later. So obviously I just am really appreciative of the grassroots effort and the ground floor that we came in on to work with people and for people who value athletic trainers and our triage ability and the kind of like quickness to care. And also us as people outside of quote unquote the uniform, because we're treating people in uniform. So we hear that a lot. So the benefits of just the work, my team, and ultimately, I have seen some folks come into our clinic who were at their lowest point in their life and have never been able to shed the war paint. And like the minute they sit on their table, we finally get to do something for them that they've never experienced before, like get them culturally competent providers that understand the mental aspect of it to get them the mental help that we need, because that's a whole nother branch of what we do. And also, seeing them fight through having broken their leg, their hip, and their acetabulum, and
Gunshot wound.
gunshot wound at the
Stabbed.
same time, and and it's crazy. And it
Yeah.
makes you want to just like, I mean, sometimes I'm like, what did I do with my life today? Like, I need to kind of step it up. I can't be complaining
Right.
because of what you do. And they love what they do and they want to, like, just keep going. And it's pretty motivating.
It's always wonderful to be around somebody that loves what they do, whether it's in healthcare,
Mhm.
fire, police, military. It transcends who you are, and it's infectious.
Mhm.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Now
My
you didn't
grandma used to say, you'll never work a day in your life if you love what you do.
Yeah.
totally agree. My wife jokes, "You don't have a job." I said, "Yeah, I don't. I love what I do."
Mhm.
But whenever she says that and she's at a game, that's about when somebody breaks their leg and I actually have to work. So we tell her,
Sure.
don't say that anymore. Now, you did mention and caught my attention earlier, you're at number 39 on the employee levels. So you're number 3, you were number 5. I was
Mhm.
just curious, out of those 39, how many are athletic trainers or clinicians?
Ooh,
That's
good
a great question. So
Thank you. Every now and then I get one.
it's a good one. So currently, the athletic trainers that we are happy to have are all in our Indiana locations. I believe there's 5 of us, and the rest are PTs. And we can get into the conversation as to why, if you would like. But we are a very supportive athletic trainer company. Our director of operations is an athletic trainer. A lot of the restrictions, unfortunately, are state practice acts.
Going to
And-
ask, I would presume a lot of it deals with licensure,
Yep.
state
Mhm.
billing,
Yep.
contracts, yada, yada, yada.
So,
Most of it is, yeah, just like scope of practice
Yep.
stuff. We work heavily in workers' compensation, so that
Mhm.
sort of that language sometimes restricts where athletic trainers can be, but because our owners are former professional athletes, that's all they know and all they've known is athletic training services because they played for the Colts and they played for the Cardinals. And so they're like, why can't we have athletic trainers everywhere? And so that's the gold standard model is
Yeah.
ATPT working together to work off of each other's strengths.
Which ideally, that's what we should be doing because our whole goal is to help whoever's in front of us, that patient.
Exactly.
And what we might not know, they might, and vice versa. Yeah. Team treatments.
Yeah,
Mhm.
multidisciplinary care is a lot more advantageous for the patients because not everyone can be the best at everything.
Not at all. And I'm the first one to admit that. I'm not the best at, well, a lot of stuff, but I try really hard. So, and then we have what you mentioned earlier. Sometimes it's the mental aspect of the game, and you're going to have to bring somebody in. We're trained to deal with mental issues and mental wellness, but they might need a little more than what we have. And do you have a way with your team to tap into resources for your patient?
Absolutely. So the resources vary based on the department you're working with, but as a company, we do have an arm that is protein wellness, and that arm is mental behavioral health.
They're only
So
in Indiana.
they're only in Indiana. But once we kind of saw the true effects of mental health and how it was really impacting first responders, our leadership was like, hey, we need to do something about this. We need to be proactive. And so that's kind of what birthed the protein wellness arm. I will say that a lot of departments also have individual resources that we can tap into as well, that we've been very intentional about building relationships with because we understand the value that they bring to the table as well. With the department I work with, they have their own wellness unit. We tap into those resources all the time. We tap into protein wellness. We are very lucky to have the amount of resources that we have to get these first responders everything that they need from the mental health aspect.
With everything you got going in Indiana, it sounds like Indiana is the best state to work in right now.
I'm biased. I know my bias.
I am
We
too.
have an office in Vegas. That's a fun one to visit.
It is.
I was just gonna say, I noticed on the website they do have a Vegas location.
All of
Could
our
be.
places are so different.
Mhm.
And so I've been fortunate enough to see every one of them from brick and mortar in person begin. They all have a little different thing that's unique to them. So I'm just biased because one, Indiana has one of the best state practice acts in the country for us to practice at the top of our scope truly.
Mhm.
So I'm appreciative of that. The donut states around us do too. Personally, I just wouldn't want to go anywhere where I'm restricted in what I can do because I'm dry needle certified and so is Kim, and we're HVLA certified and we do grade 5 manipulations, no problem. Like we do everything
Hmm.
you can possibly do in our field. The other places unfortunately kind of don't let us do that. And some, even for the PTs, it's restrictive sometimes. But I love all of our locations just for a little bit of different reason, but obviously Vegas and fun and
Hmm.
all the things that go along with that.
All the things you can't talk about after you leave it. Yep. Yep.
Right.
Now I do have a question. What's a practice act? I live in California and work in
Oh,
California. I don't know what that is.
Being from
Anyway,
California.
hey, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But hey, we got a big win last year, and I keep going back to it. We
Yep.
got title protection, which got to start somewhere.
Exactly.
So big shout out to CATA and Kai Kugler on that, getting
Mhm.
that practice act, or not practice act, getting ahead of myself, title protection, and shout out to Nick Harvey who spearheaded that campaign. We're getting there. We're getting there. But hey, I can do whatever I want out here. So come on out. You can do whatever
The
you want
Wild
in
West.
California. Amen. Yeah, who
Yep.
knows what anybody's doing out here, but we're getting better. We're getting better. So Las Vegas on 501 South Rancho Drive, Suite 82, right down there in the medical district. That looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really
Yep.
neat, that area. It's a whole, like you said, the medical district is what it's coined as, but within walking distance, patients that go to Protein Tactile can also see their peer support team. That doesn't even really give it the right coin term. It's their own bureau of mental health providers. And not just when we say peer support, we mean a police officer that's trained and knowing how to like recognize critical incident stress management.
Oh,
But obviously, they're not
fantastic.
clinicians. So they're
Yeah.
actually clinicians in there that can help. So all of our places are seeing the value of having kind of a one-stop shop situation.
That is so ideal for in so many ways for the patient and
Mhm.
patient care. That's trend setting. People should be listening to this going, that's a great model. Maybe we should talk to Beth about this. Just saying, people, just know that.
Happy.
Um, yeah, get a hold of her. We'll connect you guys. That would be great because all we all think about is taking care of people. That's what we do. Doesn't matter what the age or the profession. We just take care of people. Elevate your knowledge, ignite your curiosity, and compete with the best minds at events hosted by the American Academic Competition Institute. AACI's sports medicine competitions feature practical exercises, challenging quizzes, specialty tests, and keynote speakers that foster knowledge and social engagement in healthcare and sports medicine. Go to aacitest.org for more information on upcoming regional and national competitions. Sign up for the ultimate intellectual showdown. Shifting gears a little bit, not much, just a tiny bit. We hinted at something, and my producer, Gabriel, had told me that somebody had developed a professional kind of con ed education. And Kimberly's pointing her finger right at Beth. And my understanding, if I read correctly, is it's the first one approved by the NATA for tactical.
So, not necessarily.
Okay.
So similar to how we were talking about earlier, how small we started with a company of 3. And they were 3 athletic trainers to start, actually. We all, are required to maintain our BOC certification through continuing education. And luckily, through a lot of good brainstorming, probably in my 3rd or 4th year, I'm one of those people that's not afraid to ask tough questions. I went to my boss and I said, hey, this is a valuable element for also recruiting work people here to show outside of just continuing education dollars, we can provide internal education to our people. And we're a very thought-provoking group of folks. So we were like, what could this look like? So we thought about seeking NATA BOC credentials. We just didn't go as far. So obviously category D is always an option for us, but that has grown over the years into kind of its own role as a professional development coordinator. I once was and have since passed the baton on to Kimberly. But really just showing our clients and our people and building the culture of we want to make sure our people have top-notch resources, top-notch education, and great opportunities to expand their skills. And there are a lot of future, for those listening, the people that when you're looking for jobs, I don't think early careers ask that question, like, how are you going to support me in my requirement of continuing education, whether you're a PA or a nurse or whatever. Like, you have to keep learning your whole career because of evolution of medicine. So you should ask that question, like, do I get continuing education dollars, or are things provided to me to support my reinstatement of my, licensure? And so we take really good care of our people in that way, bringing people in, coordinated private courses, having roundtables with our close partner physicians, even during like staff meetings, doing in-services. Like, our people are just learners. And so if you're not a lifelong learner, you don't really fit in here because we're always learning and geeking out on research and evidence-based practice.
You said geeking out on research, right?
Mhm.
Okay, just making sure because I'm right there. So
Yeah.
yeah. I think one of the funniest things my daughter ever said, and she's trying to get into grad school, she's going PA, physician assistant. Her comment was, Dad, you're geeking out on this stuff. I'm like, well, that's what I do.
Right.
It's me. This is what I love outside of my daughters and my wife. That's what I love. So I totally get it. And lifelong learning, healthcare. I mean, come on, Kimberly, you gotta talk. You're in charge of it. How have you helped some of your peers or helped some of guest peers coming from other locations really jump on board to this type of professional development?
I think for me, it's really about through the hiring process, you can kind of tell who's in it, right? And we've had really great experiences with our hiring team of hiring people who want to be on top of it, who want to be lifelong learners, who want the resources. And truthfully, most of them, they come to me and they're like, hey, I saw this really cool course. Can we bring them in? Absolutely. Let me figure it out. No problem. Or we kind of ping off of all of our clinicians' expertise, if you will. So one of our clinicians, she does our vestibular rehabilitation. We were like, hey, can you do a 1 hour lunch and learn and teach us what you know?
I like that, lunch and learn. Oh, I'm gonna steal that. I love that
You
quote.
coined
That's
it.
a great quote. Okay, coined it. I'll have to make sure Beth gets the credit, but I'll credit both of you.
Fair enough. And then we have another employee who specializes in chronic pain and came from a pain clinic. So I'm like, hey, let's tap into that. And she's actually set to do a lunch and learn this month. So how, like, we always try to tap into what our clinicians are really good at as well. And then we try to stay on top of current literature and the who's who of the tactical space, if you will, so that we can go to these conferences, so that we can be a voice at the table. We can learn as much as we possibly can from these individuals and bring it back to what we're doing. We have so much support from our leadership to stay on top of the best possible DME, the best possible manual therapies, the greatest devices that we can have for ourselves as clinicians, as well as that we can give to our patients. And all of us, our entire staff is now dry needle certified. And that happened because we saw the value in it. And we're like, hey, we all need to have this skill. So it's something that's just automatically done now. When you join our staff, you're going to take a dry needling course. And so those are the things that we kind of set up to build this culture of, I want to say culture of excellence, but that sounds a little like snooty.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what we aim to do. And I'm extremely happy to be a part of it, to be honest. And what I think I brought to the table from the professional development position was my nerdiness around numbers and data. Like, I'm that person.
I love that. I love that.
So part of what I was doing, and again, this came from an ask early on while I was here, before I got the professional development position, was tracking clinician-based performance indicators and patient-rated outcome scores and patient satisfaction and functional improvement, and trying to provide our clinicians with feedback on their performance that's actually objective and not an opinion of a coworker who may or may not like you. We thought that was important.
Very important.
Or an administrator, or, like
anyone,
someone
yeah.
doing the job.
Oh, yes.
So that's how I kind of integrated that KPI data evidence background into the professional development position when I had the privilege of getting it.
Data rules.
Mm.
It really does. It can drive, if you use it correctly, it rules. It rules everything. It can help you with patient care. It can help you with professional development. It can help you with clinical outcomes, blah, 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 blah. I could go on forever. It helped, and I've said this all the time, it helped me get a second clinician here. It helped a couple years ago to prove we needed more staff and the third athletic trainer on site. Data is king or queen, depending on how you look at it. I'm good either way. It's fun to hear. And what is your go-to when you're talking data to really drive something? Is there a specific, I heard you say a couple different initials in there. Is there a specific type of data, depending on what you're looking at, that you're looking for, or a certain metric you're looking for or utilize, excuse me?
Yeah, great question. It depends on the data question that's being asked of me. So when I'm looking at key performance indicators for our clinicians, what we look at is our 4 most commonly used patient-rated outcome measures. And our documentation system actually requires us to do a pro on initial eval. And then at the 30-day mark, we reevaluate and do the PRO again. So we're able to track progress over time with our patients. We use lower extremity functional scale, Alpha-Street Disability Index, upper extremity quick dash, and ODI, NDI, Neck Disability Index. Those are the 4 that we have kind of honed in on because they're the most validated. Now, if you want to get into the sciencey background of they're not validated for first responders, we could have that conversation, but they're just the most widely validated amongst multiple populations and across the lifespan. So those are the ones we've kind of leaned onto. We also look a lot at patient satisfaction because we think it's important to make sure that our patients are receiving high quality care. As a company, we've been really lucky to always do really well in that category. It's never been something that I've even had to have a conversation with a clinician over. And I think that's an amazing reflection of the staff here and the leadership here that's gotten us to that point. So we do that quarterly. Every clinician will get a rubric, if you will, every quarter that I kind of pump out to them. What I love the most about it is it's not for a grade. It's not punished. If you're not doing well, we're not looking at you like, we're going to have a meeting with you because you suck. That's not what we're doing. And our clinicians, because so many of them are grade oriented, they struggle with it sometimes because they want a grade on it. And we just try to make sure that they get the resources they need to track how they're doing as a clinician from an objective standpoint. The other really cool thing we do with those is we use them to help direct clinician education. So if we see as a company that we're all struggling in a certain area, I myself and before Beth would go out and seek continuing education opportunities for the company as a whole to help fill that gap. So those are kind of the ways we do that. Now, if you're from a marketing perspective, there's different numbers that we look at. One that we are really honing in on is days to full duty. So for example, if an officer or a fireman comes in, we have to take them to a limited duty capacity due to the severity of their injury. We track how long it takes us to get them from that limited duty capacity back to a full duty capacity. The other thing that we track is post-operative recovery. So we look at the 4 most common surgery types that we do as a company. We look at how long it takes them from date of surgery to date of full duty, date of surgery to date of surgery to completion of rehab, because sometimes they'll go back to full duty and still come in to get some finishing touches. So we do all of that more as proving our value. So those numbers actually go to mostly our marketing team. And they're able to utilize those numbers to speak to key stakeholders and support and advocate for us as a company.
Might I just say, wow. Very cool. I love the fact that you're able to talk to how to use and what to use the data. I love the fact you're using patient satisfaction rates. We don't use those nearly enough in athletic training. Probably a little harder in my setting with the high school because you look at somebody funny,
Right.
Well, scores tank. But also, I kind of chuckled inside when you said, our clinicians want a grade. Well, yeah, we're grade driven. We were grade driven all the way from college through grad school through whatever. So I could see going, I want a grade. I want a grade. I want a grade. What do you mean I don't get a grade? I totally understand that.
Mm-hmm.
Patient satisfaction rates are so widely used in healthcare, yet almost never used in athletic training. So kind of neat to hear that it's used in your setting.
We really value it. I think we've been able to come to the table and advocate for the profession in a lot of ways because we have that data backing us. And, I'm able to split the data from workers' comp to commercial to personal to self-pay to location to clinician. I can split it and slice it however you want, and really advocate for us as a profession and advocate for us as a company. And we're able to come with harsh numbers that say, hey, we really are doing these things. We're not just talking about doing them.
Awesome. That's so awesome. Sorry, geeking out right now. Loving it.
It's okay.
Loving it. Loving it. All right, let's shift a little gear now. I know off the air prior, Beth, we were talking about all the different hats. And in athletic training, doesn't matter where you work, what place you work, what setting you work, we seem to wear hats. And not just one, not just two, but multiple. Now, you were talking, you have multiple hats. And I know one of the words that came up, the foundation. I'm really curious. What are some of the hats that you wear for different aspects of protein? And I'm very curious about the foundation aspect and your role in the foundation.
Yeah, happy to share. And I think some of that just goes back to my educational background. I'm a bit of an enigma in that, if you have a doctorate in our field, it's usually a DAT or PhD. And if you're a DAT, you're clinically driven. If you're PhD, you're research driven. And I'm neither of those. I'm organizational leadership, change management driven, I guess. And so in my leadership studies, that covers a vast, you can apply that in any field. And so upon my hire, our leaders are very innovative and forward thinking thought leaders. And that was really evident early on because we always knew we wanted things to grow. We just didn't know which direction and timing of all that. So in the last year and a half, I was approached, let me back up. A lot of our work and success in where protein lands next is through a lot of hard feet on the ground efforts through different police foundations. Protein sounds like, why doesn't everyone have a protein? Well, there's a lot that goes into it, and a lot of brick and mortar, city operational budgets, salary for the employees. It's like so many things. And so these foundations do the hard work earning from private donors, event sponsorships, things like that. And they get the money to allow us to come in and do our bidding for the city to become an operation, essentially. Our services aren't free. And we want to make sure we also give the city the best option for what their city needs, because every city agency is different. Not every city agency needs 5 clinicians and a huge operation. They might need just one and do fine with that one because they're an agency of X. There's the calculation that exists for athletic trainers. How many athletic trainers do you need per how many students or, athlete student bodies you have? So similar for us. And so essentially our leaders were like, hey, if we want to have a seat at the table, we need to also have a nonprofit arm that supports our for-profit aspect, just so even the nomenclature and vernacular shared between the professionals is similar and familiar when we talk about nonprofit work, because we want our services in more places because they are so desperately needed because of the not great care we mentioned to earlier these folks oftentimes get, especially the physical and mental aspect. And the biggest deterrent is the bottom line for a lot of agencies' budgets. We just don't have it in our budget. And we want to be able to remove that barrier because of what we can support them with through a foundation.
And what is your role inside that foundation?
Good question. I didn't get that far, did I? I am the executive director of our foundation, so I lead our board of directors with all of our operations and strategy and growth. And yeah, that's how
That ties. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say that's the title they give me, but some days I'm not sure what I do.
Same.
But that makes sense. That sounds like it really ties into educationally your doctorate.
Yeah.
So, which is fantastic. Yeah, I've actually looked at that doctorate degree or that type because it intrigues me.
It covers a lot for a lot of different people. I know a lot of people in secondary education, if they do go for their doctorate, they get it as an EDD. Some people like to poo-poo on that doctorate because it's not a PhD and it's yeah, whatever. It's really about what you're wanting to do with your doctorate that matters. I still had to do a dissertation. I still had to write a dissertation. I still have my 150-page manuscript on my
Listen.
desk. Like, I still had to go through it and defend it and all the
Yep.
things. So I earned it, and I really liked my experience, and it's provided me this Swiss Army knife of skills.
See, I want to get it for multiple reasons: personal, professional, and I want to hear my wife call me Dr. Hallett. That's really the big one right
Yeah.
there. I won't tell you her response.
Just call me master, isn't it?
No,
No?
she'll call me Dr. something, and it wasn't
Oh.
my last name. Yeah, no.
Clear.
Yeah, she was very clear on that. Yeah. But Gabe, you might edit that part out. No, you won't. You'll probably send it to her. It's all good. Thanks, buddy. That's so cool that not only do you work for the company, but you are an executive director of the foundation and
Mhm.
giving back to the professions that need the help. It's just it's that's so forward thinking of your organization to do that. And I love it. Absolutely
I'll
love
say
it.
what she won't say about herself.
Please.
She doesn't talk about herself, but the professional development coordinator position that I currently have was hers. It didn't exist before her.
So she created yet something else,
Exactly.
probably just by
And-
asking and saying, hey, let's try this.
And the executive director of the foundation position didn't exist before her.
I'm seeing a pattern here.
Yeah. So
Hmm.
if there's anybody that I can say in this profession, like truly does like the groundbreaking, hard advocate work, I sit in the seat that I sit in because she got out of it.
So for those of you who can't see Kimberly right now, she's nudging and poking and pointing at Beth. So, which is fantastic. That's always nice to hear kind words from a colleague, but groundbreaking is an awesome statement in our profession. So thank you for everything you said about your colleague. And Beth, thank you for all you have done as a colleague. I'm geeking out now, so I'm enjoying this conversation.
Do it. We love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's right. I do get really uncomfortable.
You can see it in your face right now. Yeah.
I also acknowledge, I mean, I talk about this all the time. People with my years of experience, like that 10 to 15 group, the like mid-careerists or whatever you want to call it, like a lot of us fall off because we want a different setting, we want better hours, and so we just change professions completely. And I've been lucky to kind of fall into this role, but I get to do what I do because of those that came before me too. So there's just like this legacy of athletic training evolution that I'm appreciative of as well.
Anybody in particular you'd like to shout out?
That's such a good question. Just like I'm just gonna go a little feminist here, like all the female trailblazers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not just a guy's profession. I mean, it is more female profession driven than people realize.
And I still teach. I adjunct for a local university, and there'll be like 13 women and 1 male in the class. You know, it's so cool to see that switch. And it's so cool to see it's so cool to see opportunities that don't require us to leave the profession to stay at home with kids anymore, because we're able to find a job, a setting, and like be valued in what we do.
Amen.
Yeah.
Yep. We're all clinicians. Doesn't matter. All clinicians. Some of my favorite mentors have been the women that taught me and got me where I'm at. And I'll shout out one PT that really taught me a ton, Toby Montour. I don't know if I've even ever said Toby's name on here. Without her, I have no idea what hands-on therapy is. I didn't learn it in college. We had no clue. I'm too old. Hands-on, that's when you take the hand and you take the ice bag and you put it on somebody, right? That's it.
Yep.
I mean, she taught me so much and was just a huge mentor. But oh man, and out here on the West Coast, just some phenomenal people out of Cal State Fullerton, University of Laverne, first term NATA presidents out this way. God bless it. Yep. Okay, I'm going to keep babbling. I'm going to stop right there. I just babble forever. Any specific names come to mind though?
For both of us or for her?
Both of you. Let's go Beth first.
You know, I was thinking about that, and I was like, anyone who took a chance on me. Like,
Listen.
I love it. I love it. But that's true.
anyone who, just said, sure, let's do it. So some of those like the people that like wrote the books, like I've met William Prentice,
Oh my God, that's so cool.
yeah, like James Rankin and Chad Starkey and all those kind of people that have written the books that we learn from. Everyone's entitled to their feelings about different individuals, but like we learn skills we know because of these people, so they automatically sort of get like an honorary thank you. But when I mentioned earlier about like kind of female trailblazers, I was really fortunate and had an amazing preceptor in my undergrad. Sarah McGriff is her name. Sarah Messerth is it now. She has switched careers actually and has gone into nursing just in her, gosh, she was like 40 when she made the switch. But anyway, she just kind of showed me how to be gritty and how to like just take it all in stride. And I did a year-long deal with her and the women's basketball team. I was basically like an assistant of hers in my senior year, and she taught me a lot about how just to be adaptable and flexible and take it on the chin and keep going. And kind of, probably is the one that planted that seed is like, don't take no for an answer.
I love that.
Hmm.
I love that. And what about you, Kimberly?
I would say probably my first two mentors, if you will, Marilyn Oliver from University of Laverne and Joanna Engel, who is still the head athletic trainer there and has been for forever. Very strong female trailblazers, in my opinion, who mentored a very headstrong young individual in myself. I say this all the time and I joke about it now, but like I was not easy to mentor. And they took a chance and they were like, nope, you can do this and we're going to keep working with you. I remember calling Jo for my next 3 positions after I left Laverne, and I was like, I don't know if I should do this. You got to tell me what to do. Every time she led me in the right direction. I would say now in my career, my DAT faculty, probably owe them a little bit. Dr. Kent Games is the one who forcibly removed me from the collegiate setting and did the right thing and has mentored me and said my name in rooms that I haven't been in. And I think that's invaluable. I currently am able to sit on the COPA committee through the NATA for public safety.
Awesome.
And I firmly believe that's because he nominated me. He's the only one in the group that knew who I was before I came on board. So it had to have been him. And I've been able to go after a lot of opportunities, including my employment here, because of my relationship with him. So those are my people.
Very cool. A interview like this is easy and I love it because we just talk about what we love, our profession of athletic training and the offshoot of tactical, which is your love. And it's inspiring. It's really brought back to life in me, my love of my profession. So thank you for fueling that fire today. I truly appreciate it. I really do. And hopefully some of the guests that are listening appreciate it too. I do have one last question for both of you. And this is one we ask often or something similar. If you could look back at that stubborn person in the beginning, Kimberly, what is something you would say to her, hoping to inspire her into her career?
Take the chance and be uncomfortable.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. And Beth, if you could go back and look at yourself and say, hey, little piece of advice, what would that advice be?
No matter what happens, you will keep going.
Ooh, I like that. No matter what happens, you will keep going. That's really nice because it's true.
Yeah, just even though we had such different backgrounds, we both had very distinct times where we're like, I can't do this. This is wild. This is never gonna happen. And why do I don't deserve, you get that imposter syndrome,
Oh, yes. Know it well.
Yes. And so you're just like, keep going. Shut that voice off. And guess what? In 5 years, you'll be like, holy smokes, I made it.
To use a phrase I know very well from a very great theologian, just keep swimming. Mm-hmm. Hopefully you know who that theologian is.
I do.
Oh, okay. Very good. Yeah, the Disney character, for those of you who don't know. Yep. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. I couldn't agree with you more. This has been really fun. I truly enjoyed listening and learning today. I love, again, this Indiana State Police sign in the background, just adds something so cool to the image. But
We didn't put it there on purpose.
We did not.
it just kind of happened there. Okay.
Yeah, it sits there all the time.
All right. I truly appreciate learning about what you have done as number 3 and number 5 with your company, Protein Tactical Performance. This has been extremely educational and at the same time, a lot of fun for me. So thank you very much for being interviewed today.
Absolutely.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you for doing this and also being a trailblazer just to get the information out there.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. Those are kind words. Thanks for being on Wrap It Up Sports Medicine and More today. And we'll see you again next time. Have a great day. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Want to make sure you hear every episode? Remember to like, follow, and subscribe to our podcast. Don't forget to share our podcast with your colleagues, family, and friends. Your support will help more people find and enjoy our content. Wrap It Up Sports Medicine and More is directed by Eli Halleck. It is produced by Gabriel Halleck. Our theme music is by Coma Studios via Pixabay. The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are solely those of the contributors. Want to know more about us? Visit us at wrapituppodcast.com. That's with 1P, wrapituppodcast.com. Wrap It Up Sports Medicine and More is a production of Halleck Consulting, LLC.